Hello all, a warm welcome to my channel. Always stay on top and stay updated. Yes. It's about BBC documentary about Gujarat riots. Let's get into the video. The BBC operates several channels, including BBC News, which is a 24-hour news channel that provides news coverage and analysis from around the world. As a publicly funded broadcaster, the BBC is required to provide impartial and balanced news coverage, free from political or commercial influence. The BBC's editorial guidelines require its journalists to report the news with accuracy, impartiality, and fairness, and to provide a range of perspectives on complex issues. While the BBC is often regarded as one of the most reputable news sources in the world, like any news organization, it has faced criticism and controversy over its reporting on certain issues or events. Some critics have accused the BBC of bias or sensationalism in its reporting, while others have praised its dedication to impartiality and its commitment to providing comprehensive news coverage. BBC is widely regarded as a trusted and influential source of news and information, with a global audience that spans many different countries and cultures. In 2021, the BBC released a documentary titled The Battle for Gujarat, which explores the ongoing impact of the Gujarat riots of 2002 on the state's political landscape. The documentary examines the complex social and political dynamics that contributed to the violence, and highlights the ongoing struggle for justice and accountability for victims and survivors. The documentary features interviews with a range of individuals, including politicians, activists, and victims of the violence. It also includes archival footage and images from the time of the riots, as well as present-day footage of Gujarat and its people. One of the key themes of the documentary is the role of the ruling Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP, in promoting Hindu nationalism, and the ways in which this ideology has shaped the state's politics and society. The documentary also explores the impact of this ideology on minorities in Gujarat, particularly Muslims, and highlights the ongoing discrimination and violence faced by these communities. Another key focus of the documentary is the ongoing struggle for justice and accountability for victims of the violence. The documentary highlights the challenges faced by victims and their families in seeking justice, including a lack of political will and institutional support. It also features interviews with activists and human rights advocates who are working to support victims and to push for accountability and reform. Overall, The Battle for Gujarat provides a powerful and thought-provoking exploration of the ongoing impact of the Gujarat riots on the state and its people. By highlighting the complex social and political dynamics that underpin the violence, the documentary helps to deepen our understanding of this tragic chapter in India's history, and raises important questions about justice, accountability, and the role of ideology in shaping society. However, it is widely known that the Indian government, led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, has been critical of the BBC in the past, particularly over its coverage of the Gujarat riots and other sensitive political issues in India. There have been instances where the Indian government has accused the BBC of biased reporting and questioned the authenticity of its sources and reporting methods. Additionally, in recent years, the Indian government has tightened its regulations on foreign media outlets operating in the country, including the BBC, by requiring them to comply with new guidelines that restrict their ability to broadcast or distribute content. These guidelines have been criticized by some as an attempt to suppress critical reporting and limit freedom of expression. It's worth noting that the relationship between the Indian government and the media is complex and multifaceted, and there are often divergent views on the role of the media in society and the appropriate limits of government regulation. As with any political issue, it's important to seek out multiple perspectives and sources of information in order to form a well-rounded understanding of the issue at hand. It is important to note that the Indian government's response to media coverage, particularly on sensitive issues like the Gujarat riots, has been a subject of controversy and criticism. There have been instances where the government has been accused of attempting to suppress critical media coverage or dissent, including through legal action, regulatory measures, or other means. However, it's also worth noting that the relationship between the government and the media in India is complex and dynamic, and there are often divergent views on the appropriate balance between freedom of expression and government regulation. As with any political issue, it's important to consider multiple perspectives and sources of information in order to develop a comprehensive understanding of the issue at hand. Thank you for watching the video. Learn daily. Grow daily.